looking for disabled self-defense or walking cane self-defense or any kind of self-defense where you have the option of using something that you're allowed to take with you anywhere you go, you can take this and no one's allowed to say, prove to me that you need it, right? You can carry a walking cane into any store, you can carry it onto an airplane, you can carry it through TSA here in the United States, you can carry it to the bus stop, you can take it on the bus, train station, subway, wherever you go, this is allowed when it has this crook, especially here in the United States. I have two canes I want to show you from the start if you're a beginner and you're looking for the best option. This is lightweight rattan, and this will move very quickly when you do your warm-up moves. It's going to strike hard, strike fast. You're going to be able to thrust with it. You'll be able to use the crook to rake it across the face for self-defense. You're going to be able to jab with it, come through the middle, striking down, pushing. It's not as heavy as the other one, but this is a great starting option. And I'm giving one of these away to one of my members. So if you're not a member yet, you can join now, link below. Or if you're not ready to invest your money, just invest your time and send me a message. Send me a message, go to pasquinelli.com, send me a message, say you'd like to be entered for the drawing. You don't have to send me any money. And I'm gonna pick a name out of the hat, May 15th, a little under a month, right? And I'm gonna send this out to somebody on my dime. I'm gonna pay for shipping. This is a great starting option if you don't have a cane, you wanna get started. But this is my favorite training option. This is a heavyweight, not super heavy, but heavy enough, oak cane, Cane Masters cane. I'm gonna show you how to get started using it right now. Palm up, you have the long side coming out of your thumb. You're gonna make a cranking motion forward, a little circle. Show you from the side. I'm gonna add a little bit more momentum there to get it moving around. And your hand is gonna be closed but not squeezing as you allow it to circle through your hand. Now this drill can be done standing or sitting. You're doing this to warm up your body. You're doing this to engage the core muscles, even if you're sitting, the muscles that keep you upright and straight. You're doing this to build callus in your hand so that your cane is gonna slide through much more easily. And you're doing this to build speed, power, balance, coordination. It's conditioning the body and it keeps you safe from injury during the workout. After you've done this for 30 seconds, spinning it to the side, let me slow it down one more time in case this is your first time doing it. After that, you're gonna bring it across the body and back. Palm side and back of the hand side. Think of a slap across the face and a backhand slap across the face. So you're coming over and back, stomach up and in, abs tight, squeezing, starting slow, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And when you first start, it might not be smooth, but don't give up on this move. This is a very important move because it's disguising repetition for later when you use your striking cane self-defense techniques. Learning how to use a cane for self-defense requires that you do a proper warm-up, but also requires a lot of repetitions. After you've done this for about 30 seconds, bring it to the other hand, start again. The hand is closed, not squeezing, but closed. The long side comes out of the thumb and you're making this forward circling motion, going up to the sky and down to the ground, pushing it around, comes to the side of the body, stomach up and in, abs tight. You can do this standing or sitting. And I recommend doing both. Do it standing, and after a while, practice all these moves. Every move we do today, practice also sitting. You never know when you're gonna be sitting, waiting for a bus, sitting at the restaurant, sitting on a plane, sitting, and you have to be sitting, or maybe that's your reality. You have to sit because you're not ambulatory anymore with your legs. You don't walk, you're in a chair. That's your reality, that's fine. Learn how to defend yourself in any situation. If you can stand, stand. If you can't, sit. If you can stand and sit, do both. Practice across and back, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Speed it up when you're ready. But if you're not ready to go fast, take your time. Again, it's that slapping motion across the face, backhand coming back. Stomach up and in, abs tight. Then I want you to add a mobility drill. This mobility drill is going to get blood into your knees especially and into your legs, and it's going to start to lean you out faster. Now I get this comment all the time. You say, not you, one person out of a million will say, Well, if they have a gun, good job, you brought a cane to a gun. That's not gonna work. Obviously, right? Those are just dumb comments, but sometimes they need to be addressed. And one of the questions is, why waste your time using a cane for self-defense if you could just carry a gun? Well, some people don't want to, some people can't. Either it's not allowed or they don't want to, it's too expensive, they don't like the thought of it. Doesn't matter why. This is not an alternative to a gun anyway. This is something else. This is self-defense. If you're older and you need to get around with it, if you have some disability, maybe you're a wounded veteran, this is not a replacement for another self-defense weapon. This is a mobility tool. This is a health and medical device that you're allowed to take anywhere and everywhere you go. And if you learn how to not only defend yourself with it, but also improve your health, and by pushing this forward, I want to show you this angle. Let me drop the camera just a little bit because I've been doing this a lot lately here in person, and I'm seeing great results, fast results. People are getting faster mobility. They're able to move around better, stronger legs, leaning out faster. You put it at this angle, and you sit down, and it's just a tiny little sit, just a tiny little motion. Just going down and up, down and up. You're gonna do it for 30 seconds. As you age and you need to get stronger and healthier, leaner, you need to do things for time and not necessarily for repetitions. So do it for 30 seconds instead of counting. Just put a timer on or count in your head, 1, 2, 1,000 like you do when you're a kid. Get to 30 and then move to the next one. Or about that amount. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't overthink stuff. All right, after you've done a set there, I want you to go into this position here, and you're gonna get there by picking it up and letting it slide down. I want to talk about the first self-defense move. The first self-defense move is going to be getting in a better position, putting the cane between you and the threat and interrupting their line of sight, just like that, making them have to look around you, move around your stick to get to you, to stab, punch, kick. When you're learning cane self-defense and you're a beginner, cane self-defense for beginners, or if you want to learn how to defend yourself with a walking cane, in this case, Cane Masters Dojo cane, that's the first link below if you want to see what these cost. They're very inexpensive, but it's a really, really good option. You have to learn the first thing in cane self-defense is this better position. Learning, what does this thing do? What's the purpose of it? Well, it's a big piece of oak. It's very heavy, it'll break bone, and it doesn't bleed. If they have a knife, it's not gonna bleed. So this is a great option for self-defense. Put it between you and the threat and thrust. The first motion is thrust. Now, the most common question I have in person and online is the thrust does not feel like a powerful strike. Why would you do it? And the reason that you do it is you're gonna allow the cane to do the work. It's a hard piece of wood, and there's a hard piece of wood under that, even though that's a tiny piece of rubber. That cane is going to go against their nose, eyes, teeth, throat, solar plexus, the top of the groin, into the private parts, and it doesn't have to be a powerful thrusting strike. It just has to be a little bit. Imagine walking into, you're not gonna walk into it. If you stick it right in their face, then they're gonna have to move around it. If you stick it in their face and push, it doesn't have to be a hard push for the cane to do the work. Let the cane do the work. So from this position, get into a better position, up and in front of you, one hand forward, the other hand is back. That makes your body from here a smaller target. I'm a big wide person, now I'm cut myself in half. Between me and you is this cane. I'm gonna thrust it right into your face or your neck or your solar plexus or the groin, but I'm going center of the body, center of the body. From here, I'm gonna add a second strike. I want you to follow me by pulling it after the thrust to your shoulder on the same side. This is my right hand, put it on your right shoulder, and I want you to strike. Coming right through, and think temple or cheek or neck. You hit the neck the right way, the right amount of force, they'll go immediately out, straight to the ground. Maybe the arm, break that upper arm, break that elbow joint. Maybe they're reaching in and they've got that knife, they're trying to stab or grab or punch. Maybe you crush that lower arm or you crush that wrist joint. or you break the smaller bones in the hand, and then that knife falls to the ground. But the point is, you're just gonna come from this shoulder, and you're going forward, and you're going to execute follow through, coming all the way through, striking. So from this position, the crook of the cane, the hook facing behind you, put your weight on a little bit, step into a better position, or you can also step back. They have a knife, step back, right? But the point is, make yourself a smaller target. Thrust into the face, to your shoulder, and through. Now, I wanted to show you from this side that when I do this strike, it doesn't go above my head. If you lift it above your head and the ceiling is short, it's not gonna work. You're gonna run into the ceiling. If you lift above your head, maybe you're at the park bench, there's a tree, and you get stuck with the tree. It's not gonna work. If you lift it above your head and they jump in, your arm is gonna wrap around their body and they're not gonna feel the cane, it's not gonna work. If instead you pull it to your shoulder, you avoid the ceiling, you avoid the tree, and if they jump into you, they're running right into that hard piece of oak, this big bar of oak, coming at them at, I don't know how many miles an hour, more than one, enough to either knock them out or do some damage. Let the cane do the work. This is hard oak. This is the Cane Masters cane. It's treated in a special way. It's soaked for a full 1 or I think 2 days. You can go to the website below and read all about it. But Cane Masters soaks it with a special kind of oil that makes it more durable, makes it more flexible, makes it heavier, and makes it last longer and hit harder. And then if you get this one, I oil this every week with either linseed oil or teak oil. I've got a couple different oils that I like to use that feel good on my hand. From here, keep the wood fresh. Or let me show you this other one. You can get, this is my everyday carry. Good morning, Wilson. Everyday carry cane. This is fancy. It's a little bit more. You can see how much it costs in the link below. It's Cane Masters cane. It's finished. You don't have to oil it at all. But look at this. That's to keep it from coming out of your hand completely. That's to give you a better grip when you get hot and sweaty like I am right now when you're defending yourself or there are other fluids involved for self-defense. This tooth is very effective, raking across the body, across the skin, across the face for self-defense. Daryl, welcome to the live stream. And Daryl said he's glad to catch a live stream. This is a dull blade. That is gonna shatter the bones. Very quickly, very powerful. Oh, thank you, Wilson. Thanks for going to the website to order to support this channel. But that's what that is. This is an everyday carry cane. This thing is not indestructible, but for self-defense, it's extremely effective. You can use it in that configuration. You can strike, you can hook, you can rake across the face, you can come in over the top, you can hold with 2 hands, you can shove them off, you can box to the right, to the left, coming up and in like a bayonet attack, coming back like a rifle butt strike. All the things that sometimes you've already learned when you were younger and in the military. You know how to do these things. Start with the thrust and then come through 2 hands, and you're a lot stronger than with 1 hand. But a cane like this, it's a little bit more expensive, but this is a great looking cane. It's nice, and no one's gonna say, hey, you don't look, I'm not gonna say they're not gonna say it, but they're not allowed to ask you in the United States whether or not you need that cane. That's your HIPAA law. The HIPAA law says privacy. Your Health Information Privacy Act says no one's allowed to ask you. Not a police officer, not TSA. No one's allowed to say, hey, prove that you need that cane. Show me your doctor's note. There's no such thing. You're allowed to take it anywhere you want because of the Americans with Disabilities Act in the United States. That's why this is such an effective tool for self-defense, because it's really not a self-defense tool. It's a mobility aid. It's a medical device. And you're allowed to carry this medical device. Maybe your hip does hurt. Maybe your knee hurts. Maybe you use it. Maybe you need 2 canes. Let me show you how that works. You lean on one, and then you use the other one for self-defense. That works. Now, going back to the basic self-defense moves that I want you to start with today, if you're a beginner, cane self-defense for beginners, cane self-defense techniques for beginners is what we're talking about today. And you don't have to be a beginner to practice the beginning techniques. Always practice fundamentals, build your foundation wide and deep, and then you'll be able to learn all the other stuff. And learn practical stuff first. There are a lot of moves with the crook, with turning and twisting and locking somebody up and turning them around and grabbing them by the neck and hooking the leg and hooking the arm. But don't learn that. At the beginning, learn what's going to keep you safe in the street for self-defense now, today. The first time you pick up your Cane Masters cane or another walking cane. Your weight's on it. You get into a better position, put the cane between you and the threat, thrust, shoulder, strike, other shoulder, strike. So you have 3 techniques for self-defense. 4 if you count the better position. Now, see how I'm popping it up into there? From here into here. Thrust, shoulder, shoulder. I also want you to do as much as you can, practice one side, put it in the other hand, practice the other side. Always practice, and you notice I went to the opposite shoulder. Doesn't matter, just go to one shoulder and the other one. The reason it doesn't matter is because when you use it for self-defense, you're not necessarily going to do a pattern that you learned training with me. You're going to ask yourself, what can you remove or destroy for self-defense? Their ability to see, breathe, breathe through the mouth, breathe through the nose, temporarily, permanently through the throat. Their ability to stand up and breathe through the solar plexus, coming down here into that thin fascia that covers right between the belly button and the privates, right into the privates. And every one of those techniques is going to be able to give you a better chance of defending yourself. Now, someone said to me yesterday, asked me, why would you do that? If you pull out that cane and you hit somebody, you're going to jail. And they're missing the point. Here's the point. I've been watching the news. You've been watching the news. And the reality is there is a lot of craziness in the world right now. And I'm not saying be afraid. Don't be afraid. But be proactive. Be prepared so you don't have to panic. Be prepared so you don't perish. Preparation just means learn to be your own first responder. Just like I keep a medical kit in the car with tourniquets and everything that I would need if I came upon a car accident. Even if I don't know how to use it, there's going to be somebody on scene, probably a nurse, a doctor, a paramedic who knows how to use it. I'm going to throw it to them and they can save somebody. But I've got it in the car. I don't have to worry about it. I've got jumper cables in the car. I got a towing strap in the car. I have something to help myself or somebody else. I have a way to charge the battery, get the car started, fill the tire. This is self-defense, right? This is one more thing that you can carry with you if you have to go into a neighborhood, because you have to. You don't have a choice. Maybe you live in a neighborhood where you need, there's a lot of this stuff, you see it on the news, these random attacks on the elderly people, on people just minding their own business. Maybe that's where you live. Maybe you just want to have the ability to say, hey, buddy, back up, and then defend yourself. I'm not saying attack somebody with a cane. I'm saying defend yourself, and it's your right. It's your right for self-defense. Now, let's turn the crook around backward. We have more strikes with that first one. We're going to do that later. But I want to show you another one with the crook facing the other direction. And you're leaning, or you're on your cane, leaning on it just like you normally would if you were walking. You're stepping, and when it's in this position with the crook facing you, facing forward, it's ergonomically stronger. It's a better technique for you. It's more efficient. You can walk with it, and then you can pop it up into this position very quickly. Now remember that warm-up. When you're learning cane self-defense techniques for beginners, and I'm having you do this warm-up, I want you to understand it's to help you later when you are sliding your hand up and down, or better, more importantly, sliding cane through your hand. From here, I want you to slide it up in this position. This is less threatening than this. This is, you better respond to the threat. This is, you're not completely sure, but you want to be ready. First thing is always going to be the thrust. That's my favorite. I think that's the most important, to interrupt their pattern, what they expect to happen. If they're a thug, if they're a criminal, they're one of these liberal cities where they have that revolving door because it's no cash bail, or they're letting out the people because they're afraid they might get COVID, who should be in jail because they have a mental illness or a drug problem, or they're just a thug criminal, and you're not sure what's going to happen. Those people are used to intimidating people, and they see people cower, and then that feeds their need to hurt, to do whatever. You're going to be in this position and say, back up, and then when you do that first thrusting strike, that interrupts their pattern of thought, that interrupts what they expect to happen subconsciously, and ideally, it smashes the nose, the teeth, the eyes, into here, coming into the stomach for self-defense. Oh, good, Daryl. Congratulations on your cane. I'm glad you're getting those today. Let me know how you like them. Put those in the comments below after you get them today. Come back to this video and share with us. What canes did you get? What do you like about them? Thrust here. I want you to do a hook, and I want you to rake across the face, across the eye, across the nose, the mouth. And I'll tell you, that oak tooth right there on that crook, that will do a lot of damage through the neck, through the chest, through the arm. It's just gonna get in there. It's gonna lock stuff up. It's gonna pull tendons. It's gonna pull muscle, and it's gonna keep you safe for self-defense. From this position, thrust, hook punch to the head, or maybe the ribs, and then come across and come back. If you need to, put that other hand on it. Put the other hand on it. Reach up and grab them right here in all that muscle and all that nerve, and pull them down and pull them off balance. But I want you to practice again. Put your weight on it, step into a better position, cane between you and the threat, thrust, hook, rake. Other hand, because I want you to do both sides equally. Better position, thrust, hook, rake. Now, there's one more technique I want to show you today that I want you to practice in this beginner cane self-defense video, or walking cane self-defense techniques for beginners, and that's with the crook facing out. When you do walking cane self-defense techniques for beginners, I want you to learn that in this position, your stick can come up very quickly between someone's legs and interrupt. You might miss it. Go again, right? By the way, that's the answer. What if you miss? Then hit them again. The fight's not over till you win for self-defense. I'm not saying pick a fight. I'm saying defend yourself. It's your right. So in this position, it comes up here. Once you strike there, I want you to put your other hand on it and follow through by turning your body and just coming straight through. And whatever you hit for self-defense. Your weight's on it, between the legs, through, and you can either step in or you can step back if they're coming in too fast, or maybe they're falling because you created that first reaction, striking up and under. And you can see all you're doing is you're just bending this elbow up, and at the same time, the wrist is turning up. You're increasing the velocity, the speed, the power of that strike, because you have two pivot points. You have a big one, and you have that smaller one. You're doing them both at once. Comes up under, maybe you miss their groin and hit them in the chin. From here, strike through. And then add another technique. From here, it should be obvious what else you can do, but we're gonna practice that. You and I are gonna practice together. We're gonna do all these cane techniques and these walking cane techniques for beginners series. I'm gonna try to do these because I forget sometimes that you might have just started. You may just now be getting into it. I wanna make sure you have a starting point, something to practice today. So for review, I want you to warm up with this spin, and then when you're ready, bring it across the body and back, and then go into a sitting motion. Do this for 30 seconds. If you have time, go back and forth. Do 2 or 3 sets of both spinning. Make sure you do both sides. And you're gonna find if you're right-handed, your left hand's gonna feel weird and it doesn't work at first, but don't give up, it will. It'll take a couple sessions and then you'll get it. And then add another set. And if you need to, just go really low. Make small pulsing motions. Your muscles are gonna start to activate. Your core muscles are gonna activate. You're gonna get that blood flowing. You're gonna get plasma through the muscles. Your joints are gonna feel better. And you're gonna lean out. You're gonna get stronger, healthier, fighting fit. Then go into this position to here. Thrust from the shoulders, just the angles. Angle down, angle down. Other hand, better position, thrust, angle down, angle down. Now, see how it's touching my shoulder? I say this all the time in person, and I say, touch your shoulder, and I see this. And I say, touch your shoulder, and I still see this. So I'm telling you, if it's not touching your shoulder, touch your shoulder with your stick. And then touch the other shoulder with the stick. That might mean you don't get to go as fast as you feel like you're supposed to. You're not supposed to go fast. You're supposed to go smooth. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. You'll get there. You'll be faster than I am eventually. But touch your shoulder. Then the last one, crook facing out. In this position, better position. Thrust, hook, crook. Right across the face. Or across the chest, the body, wherever it is. Other hand, pop it up. Thrust, hook punch, coming across the other way. From here, if you want to, if you need to, maybe they're behind you, all of that's gonna work. It's gonna occur to you when you start to do it, but we're also gonna train it together. And the last one, crook facing away from you, your weight's on it, they're coming in really fast, you don't have time to get in this position, just straight up the legs. From here, other hand on it, and follow through. Always follow through with every strike, and start slow. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, but then by the time you're done with your workout, go as fast as you can, and you're pushing yourself hard is gonna build more capacity. So your effort builds your ability to do more. The more you do, the more you're able to do. You guys have been really awesome. Please put in those comments below what you're struggling with or what you're working on, what you need my help with, or what I need your help with. Maybe you see some things that I could do better. I also like to hear about that. I like to grow too. It's not easy. It's not always hearing the truth, but the truth will set me free, sets you free too. Let me know, send it to me, and we'll have a discussion. This is a virtual dojo. This is our community, your community, my community. It's not just me talking at you. That's just the way it is now because of the format. But I like to hear what you think too. So please put those in the comments, or better yet, go to pasquinelli.com and send me your